My husband, Mark, and I started from scratch, enduring hardships and countless late nights together. Every day, we poured all our energy into live stream sales online, painstakingly growing a small online shop into a trending store with millions of followers. But after my miscarriage, I hadn't been to the live stream in a long time. Mark said the pressure was too much and told me to rest at home. It wasn't until I found thousands of private photos of his female apprentice saved on his computer, all of them tempting in school uniform-style dresses, that I understood. No wonder people in the live stream chat kept calling his female apprentice the boss's favorite. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. The moment I saw the photos, I felt a chill to my core. I thought our relationship was unbreakable, but reality hit me hard. Only then did I realize that the boss's favorite, a name fans in the live stream casually used, wasn't a joke at all. It was a truth they had long been aware of. And I, like a fool, had been kept in the dark, still firmly believing in their hard work and dedication. In the live stream, Mark and Chloe were still vigorously promoting products to the camera. I mechanically turned my head, looking at my ridiculous reflection in the mirror. I was wearing a purple school uniform-style dress identical to Chloe's in the live stream. Only, the size was wrong. The overly tight dress clung to my thighs. No matter how hard I tried to suck in, I couldn't pull it up. Just like this relationship, which could never be restored. This morning, I received a package from the brand. Seeing the beautifully packaged school uniform-style dress inside, I thought it was a surprise from my husband, wanting to relive our campus memories with me. But it wasn't the wrong size, it was sent to the wrong person. Trembling, I opened Chloe's social media posts and finally understood their veiled affect. Kyan. Thank you, Mark, for the flowers today. I love them. The accompanying picture showed the signature roses from the flower shop below Mark's company building. Work was so tiring today. Luckily, I had you. The accompanying picture was a hotel bed photo. Although she was alone in it, the messy sheets and the corner of a man's shirt were enough to explain everything. It turned out they had already been to the places we had promised to visit but never got to, and eaten the delicious food we had skipped because of long lines. They laughed freely in matching t-shirts at the amusement park, and even struck intimate poses in front of our wedding photo, smiling so brightly. How foolish I was to have once naively believed they were just ordinary mentor-apprentice, and that those matching outfits were merely for promoting products. I continued to retrieve Mark's WhatsApp chat logs from his computer. As expected, the conversations within were even more appalling. Suppressing my nausea, I took photos and saved all those provocative selfies and chats. Just as I finished, Mark returned. Seeing the clothes on me, Mark visibly froze. Under the harsh light, the ill-fitting school uniform-style dress mercilessly mocked my foolishness and naivety. Ava, are you trying on clothes? This was custom-made by the brand. Do you like it? He asked. I didn't expose him. I picked up the hem of the skirt and held it up to measure. Do you think this looks good on me? Good, of course, it looks good. Everything looks best on you, he chuckled awkwardly. I clutched the unzipped zipper, smiling bitterly to myself. How could I possibly wear a crop top now? My hand unconsciously went to my stomach, the place that had once nurtured life, now empty, just like my heart. Honey, I've made up my mind. I want to go back to live streaming. Live stream? But you haven't fully recovered yet. There's no rush for work. Chloe and I have things covered at the company, so just focus on getting better. U T the company is something we built together. I want to contribute. Is there anything wrong with that? That's not what I mean, I'm just worried you'll overwork yourself. Actually, everyone misses you too. Listening to his lies, I couldn't help but smile bitterly. Now all the resources were directed towards the boss's favorite. Would anyone even remember me? Just as he said, he and Chloe were at the company. I didn't need to worry. Alright then, I'll just rest well at home. I didn't argue with him further and changed the subject. Honey, I forgot where I put my phone. Can I borrow yours to make a call? Here, the password is your birthday. Mark's phone was never locked from me, which made me always believe him, and which allowed me to successfully install a tracking system now. Mark lay down next to me, embracing me as usual. I used the excuse of being warm and gently pushed him aside. After an unknown amount of time, a phone rang. He quickly got out of bed, grabbed his phone, and went to the window. Hello? An urgent project to discuss? Yes, I'll be right there. As the popularity of the live stream soared, Mark became increasingly busy, especially recently. Ava, the company has a client to entertain unexpectedly. I have to go right away. It's so late, do you really have to go? I asked, my voice hoarse and unwilling. I have no choice, this client is very important. You go to sleep first, don't wait for me. Mark's kiss landed on my forehead, carrying a hint of haste and perfunctoriness. In the dark night, I clearly smelled the mousse in his hair and the perfume on his body. Is going to? I asked, my hand unconsciously clutching the corner of the duvet. Yes, she's the project manager. She has to be there for this kind of social event. Mark's tone was completely normal, as if Chloe truly was just an ordinary employee. Come back soon. After saying that, I buried my head in the covers, hearing the sound of the front door closing, and my heart sank. Seeing the moving red dot on my phone stop at the karaoke bar, I casually threw on a jacket and went downstairs to hail a taxi. Driver, please take me to the mic bar. Thank you. Sitting in the car, I opened Chloe's social media posts. The post was only visible for 3 days, with just a single personalized caption, "You mentioned the moon," and I saw it. I stared at the sentence with a bitter smile. I loved taking pictures of the moon. When proposed, he gave me a huge artificial moon, and he said that even when we were old and couldn't walk anymore, he would stay with me and watch it forever. Turns out, the promises he made to me could also become someone else's sweet nothings. I suddenly remembered that last month when Mark went on a business trip to the mountains, he also sent me a photo of an identical moon. Chloe had gone with him that time too. I had originally thought she had it tough, a young girl following my husband everywhere, often working late. I even advised Mark to pay more attention to her and not overwork the young lady. Now that I think about it, maybe their business trips weren't about work, but about engaging in illicit affairs. As I got out of the taxi, I received a call from Mark. Wife, I've arrived. Get some rest early, don't wait for me. His voice sounded as gentle and considerate as ever. The client insisted I join them for karaoke, so I probably won't be back tonight. But don't worry, I definitely won't drink. Saying that, he sent me his location and even a short video of the private room's environment. I had been with Mark from when we started from scratch, from little to Mark, as in Mark, the boss. When he was a small-time streamer, he often had to risk his life drinking with clients. Once, he even got alcohol poisoning and was rushed to the hospital. I was terrified. After he woke up, I almost fainted. Since then, Mark tried his best to abstain from alcohol at any social event, even losing many business deals because of it. He would always send me his location for every social engagement, because he said he didn't want to see me worry about him again. I hesitated, looking at the location on my phone. Perhaps I was being overly suspicious this time. Maybe he really was just at a business dinner. Just as I was about to leave, a moaning sound filled with passion came from the adjacent private room. 2 familiar figures through the glass stung my eyes. Chloe was dead drunk, completely limp in Mark's arms. Mark, seeing this, wrapped his arm around her waist and effortlessly pulled her onto his lap. They kissed passionately, holding each other close. I hid in the corner, staring blankly at the glass. It was a long while before I remembered to raise my phone and press the record button. Mark didn't come home until noon the next day, carrying my favorite specialty pastries. Wife, look what I brought you. He placed the specialty pastries on the table but frowned when he saw the almost untouched plain rice porridge and side dishes. Why did you eat so little? He walked over and tenderly caressed my cheek. And your dark circles are so heavy? You didn't come back all night. You silly thing. Mark gently rubbed the corner of my eye with his thumb. You can't sleep without me? Don't do that again, okay? I listened to you and didn't touch a drop of alcohol, so don't worry. I have a live stream to prepare for this afternoon. You rest well at home first, and I'll watch a show with you when I get back. With that, he picked up his jacket and left in a hurry. I looked at the specialty pastries he had brought on the table, and my stomach churned. My once favorite delicacy now made me feel utterly nauseated. I grabbed the bag and unhesitatingly threw it into the trash can. Before left, he thoughtfully turned on the TV for me. But the TV was on, and I couldn't hear any sound. I sat motionlessly on the sofa, watching the video replaying over and over on my phone, enduring the repeated tort. In the video, under the dim lights of the karaoke bar, Mark and Chloe embraced openly, as if no one else was there. Mark, why are you here? Chloe's voice, hazy with delight, asked, didn't you say you were going to be with your wife today? Ben said you were drunk. I'm not drunk. It's my birthday today, I'm happy. Chloe, don't be like that, it hurts me to see you. A drunken Chloe, eyes glazed over, leaned softly against Mark. With tears in her eyes, she stubbornly asked, Mark, who's prettier, me or her? Mark didn't answer. After a long pause, he said, Ava is my wife, after all. Then, Mark, do you want me? Chloe climbed onto Mark's lap, her purple skirt subtly stirring his emotions. Deep, shallow kisses rained down like a storm. Mark kissed her lips, greedily sucking. Finally, he said, her screams aren't as pleasant as yours. Ugh. I clutched my mouth, my stomach churning, but nothing came out, only a heart-wrenching pain. I asked myself again and again, memories of meeting and falling in love with Mark replaying endlessly in my mind. It was blinding. I left a letter in the living room and went back to my mom's place alone. Divorce? Are you crazy? Do you know how much a divorced woman's value drops now? You finally got that boy to succeed, and now you're saying you want a divorce? Have you lost your mind? Eleanor's sharp voice pierced my heart like needles. Mom, he betrayed me. How can I go on? Men, it's normal for them to play along sometimes outside. Which rich man doesn't fool around? Look at your dad, he cheated too back then. Mom. I abruptly cut her off. How can you compare him to Dad? Enough, enough. Eleanor waved her hand impatiently. Your dad had no capability. If he had half of Mark's ability, would I have stuck with him through hard times? Ultimately, it's still your fault. After so many years of marriage, no sign of a child, couldn't even tie him down with a baby. I was speechless for a moment. It turned out that in my mom's eyes, all my grievances and pain were less important than money, less important than her so-called face. What are you still doing here? You know he has a mistress outside, why aren't you chasing your husband back quickly? My mom said unpleasantly, dragging my luggage and pushing me out of the house. Walking on the street, looking at the bustling crowd, I felt incredibly lonely. Just then, my phone screen lit up with a string of missed calls, all from Mark. I hesitated for a moment, but finally pressed the answer button. Ava, where are you? What happened at home? Mark's voice sounded anxious, with a hint of panic. I'm fine. I tried to control my emotions, but I couldn't help but choke up. Mark heard something was wrong and gently said, Ava, don't be afraid, I'm coming to pick you up and take you home right now. Listening to his concerned words, those sweet memories flooded my mind like a tide. I remembered the torrential rain during the typhoon, and he said, don't be afraid, I'll take you home. I remembered the arguments after my parents' divorce, and he said, don't be afraid, I'll take you home. I remembered him cycling, smiling at me in the sunset. I remembered our first date, how awkwardly he peeled shrimp for me. I remembered him kneeling on one knee when he proposed, and he said he would give me a home. When I spoke again, my voice was hoarse beyond recognition. Okay. Ava. Mark arrived quickly. As soon as he got out of the car, he pulled me into his arms. Were you wronged? I noticed the fatigue in his eyes and the stubble beginning to show on his chin. For some reason, my heart ached. The once spirited young man had, after all, been worn down by time. You must be starving? Come on, eat something. He pulled a chicken leg from his embrace. It was still warm, just like our school days. Back then, we couldn't afford a car and were reluctant to use air conditioning, but every week he would run to buy my favorite chicken leg, then keep it warm in his embrace through wind and snow. 20 kilometers, and it would still be warm when he got home. Why are you still standing there? Eat quickly, it won't taste good when it's cold. Mark saw my lack of response, put the chicken leg in my hand, and affectionately flicked my nose. My heart ached, and I almost couldn't hold back my tears. He remembered I liked the coffee and bagels from the shop on the corner, and would wake up early every morning to buy them. He remembered my period and would prepare comforting herbal tea in advance, even massaging my stomach. He remembered all my preferences, patiently memorizing a casual remark I made, then secretly buying it as a gift. Maybe, Mom was right. He was just temporarily led astray. Maybe, I could give him another chance? After all, we had loved each other so much, endured so many hardships together, to get where we are today. If he was just fooling around, could we still go back to how things were? If I really tried and we had our own child, could I still be the happiest person in the world? In this moment, I think I forgave him. For him, I was willing to be a fool, blind, and deaf. I saw nothing and heard nothing, so we could still be us. On the way home, Mark took a call. It was Chloe. Mark, please come with me. This Stay Special livestream is really important. I feel completely lost without you overseeing it. Mark clearly hesitated, looking at me for help. Ava, Chloe said she can't handle the evening livestream alone. Never mind, I said I'd spend today with you. Chloe really, even after I've guided her for so long, she still calls me for everything. Go, work is important, I said expressionlessly, my heart feeling as if I had swallowed a fly. Hearing my words, Mark visibly relaxed. But I'm with Ava. No buts. I'm tired too. Just take me home. Then I'll finish work early and come home to be with you properly. Okay. Back home, I sat alone in the empty room, my heart twisted in pain. Today was Valentine's Day. It was an important day for live stream sales, and an important day for lovers' dates. I put on light makeup and quietly logged into my husband's live stream using the company account. Several times more fans than usual poured into the live stream, and the chat was buzzing with enthusiastic discussions about the Valentine's Day special offers. Hello, everyone. This is Ava, Mark's wife. Next, I'm going to play a video. I hope you all continue to support Mark and Chloe's Valentine's Day special after watching it. I projected the video of them being intimate at the karaoke bar onto the live stream. This time, I wanted all the fans to witness their moving love story. The number of viewers in the live stream soared like a rocket. Mark's wife is finally back on the live stream. We missed you so much. Isn't it Valentine's Day today? Why isn't Mark here? Mark, come back to the live stream. Your wife is checking up on you. Huh, wife? I sneered, tossing these irrelevant pleasantries aside, and directly projected Mark and Chloe's chat logs onto the live stream. Those explicit words, those intimate endearments, exploded in the live stream like a bomb. The chat instantly blew up. Fans expressed disbelief that Mark, the doting husband, would do such a thing. How could this happen? Mark cheated? Oh my god. This is too explosive. Chloe is his apprentice, right? Could it be a misunderstanding? Mark, come out and explain. Don't be a coward. I looked at the chat, a wave of sadness washing over me. Once, I was a big name with millions of followers. Now, I was reduced to catching him in the act on a live stream to salvage my dignity. I sighed and clicked on the most explosive video. In the video, Mark and Chloe were in a dimly lit room, enacting inappropriate content. Deafening music and the ambiguous moans of a man and woman filled the air. They embraced tightly, kissing wildly under the dim lights. Chloe even brazenly tore at Mark's clothes. The fan completely broke down. The chat scrolled wildly. What the hell? What did I just see? Damn. These two shameless people. Mark, have you forgotten who was with you when you started your business? Truly, you guard against outsiders, but it's hard to guard against a thief in your own home. And here I was, logging in every day to help Mark's live stream boost sales. Chloe, didn't you say you were just Mark's apprentice? Is this what you call a mentor-apprentice relationship? The chat was so dense I could barely see the screen, and my vision was already blurred with tears. Once, Mark and I were considered a perfect couple by everyone. We started our business together, fought together, and went through so many ups and downs to achieve what we have today. But now, it had come to this. Thinking of this, my tears could no longer be held back and streamed down my face. Seeing my heartbroken state, the fans grew even more enraged, tagging Mark and Chloe, demanding an explanation. Mark, you jerk. Get out here. Chloe, you homewrecker. I hope you get what's coming to you. These two shameless people are disgusting. I'm going to expose them and make them pay. Just then, the screen suddenly went black, followed by a switch back to the company's live stream studio. Chloe appeared, crying and explaining that the video was fake, maliciously edited by someone, trying to salvage the situation. My phone rang almost simultaneously. It was Mark calling. I grabbed my phone, and the word husband flashed on the screen, mockingly. Ava, are you crazy? What good will it do you to blow things up like this? Mark's roar came through the receiver, carrying undisguised panic and anger. Mark, shouldn't I be asking you that question? When you and Chloe were intimate in bed, did you think about today? Did you think about me? Did you think about our company? Silence on the other end for a few seconds, then Mark's pleading whisper, Ava, I was wrong. Please, I beg you, for the SA. Who of our marriage, don't make things worse, okay? The company can't function without you, and I certainly can't live without you. Marriage? How dare you even mention those two words? I laughed in rage, a bitter, tragic laugh. To help you start this business, I worked myself to death every day, and even miscarried a child. And what did you do? While I was recuperating at home, you gave all my resources to your precious apprentice. I roared, memories of that unbearable time flooding my mind. That period was during the double sales promotion, and I was so busy every day, yet I unexpectedly became pregnant. In the early stages of pregnancy, I had severe morning sickness, throwing up everything I ate, losing a lot of weight. Mark said he felt sorry for me, but he rarely stayed at home with me, always leaving early and returning late with various excuses. I understood his busyness, and even to keep him from worrying, I endured my physical discomfort and went to the hospital for prenatal checkups alone. Later, I suffered a miscarriage due to overwork and was hospitalized for a whole month. During that time, Mark was incredibly attentive, bringing me tea and water, showing concern, even more caring than when we first started dating. I was so moved at the time, thinking he truly felt bad for me and wanted to make it up to me. Now, thinking back, it's utterly ironic. How could he have been feeling sorry for me? He was just taking advantage of my weakness and helplessness to gradually elevate Chloe. The lover I once relied on had personally delivered a fatal blow to me. Ava, we'll have children again, so please don't bring it up anymore, okay? Mark's voice sounded exhausted. Right now, I just want to solve the immediate problem. The company can't function without me, and you don't want to see the brand we built together ruined, do you? I sneered. Mark was still talking about the company now? Did he really think I would abandon everything for him again? Mark, don't try to pressure me with the company, I said coldly. The company is my life's work, I won't let it be ruined in your hands. As for you, I paused, took a deep breath, and said, word by word, we're getting a divorce. Divorce? Ava, don't say foolish things. Mark's voice was frantic. He wanted to say something more, but I mercilessly hung up the phone. I blocked Mark's number and collapsed weakly onto the bed, the video images replaying repeatedly in my mind, my heart twisted in pain. I once thought that Mark and I would grow old together, that we would walk hand in hand through life's ups and downs, but I never expected it all to be a joke. Before long, there was a flurry of footsteps at the door, followed by the sound of keys in the lock, and Mark returned. His face was flushed with panic, and fine beads of sweat dotted his forehead. He clearly had run home. Seeing me like this, he froze for a moment, then his face filled with a fawning smile. Ava, listen to me, things aren't what you think. He stood there awkwardly like a child who had done wrong, his face filled with guilt and pleading. Now you know to regret it? Where were you before? Get out. I pointed to the door, practically screaming. Don't make me say it a second time. Hearing this, Mark's eyes were bloodshot, but he dared not take another step forward, only begging in a low voice, Ava, I'm begging you, just listen to me explain, just this once, just give me 5 minutes. Explain? I sneered, walking up to him, picking up the divorce papers from the table, and throwing them violently at his face. Don't you know what you've done in your heart? Do I need to read it to you sentence by sentence? The thin papers cut his cheek like blades, but he stood motionless, letting the papers fall to the floor, his eyes filled with pleading and despair. Ava, I just made a mistake any man could make. Chloe and I, we were just having fun. You're the one I truly love in my heart. I'm begging you, give me another chance. I'll never do it again. A mistake any man could make? I laughed as if I had heard the greatest joke, my laughter filled with bitterness and sorrow. Mark, you are truly shameless. I called up the live stream screen again and thrust my phone in his face. In the live stream, Chloe was still vehemently trying to deny everything, attempting to salvage the situation. Everyone, don't believe her words, those are all fake. Mark and I are innocent. She cried as she spoke, frantically wiping away tears, desperately squeezing out a few crocodile tears, trying to gain sympathy. Unfortunately, the fans in the live stream didn't buy it at all. The chat was filled with curses, all condemning her and Mark's shameless behavior. Keep pretending. You're caught in the act, and you're still putting on a show? Exactly. Do you really think everyone's an idiot? This acting is worse than a street vending performance. These two shameless people are absolutely disgusting. Get out of the live stream and stop making a spectacle of yourselves. Watching the flicker of distress in Mark's eyes, the last bit of softness in my heart completely crumbled. Feeling sorry for her? If you're so worried about her, go comfort your precious Chloe. Don't pretend to be devoted to me here. I slammed my phone onto the ground. It bounced a few times, and the screen went completely black. Mark's face was pale, his lips trembling, but he still refused to give up. He knelt down in front of me with a thud, desperately banging his head. Ava, I was wrong. I really was wrong. Please forgive me this once. I'll never do it again, I swear. Enough, Mark, stop acting. Do you think you're some devoted lover? Let me tell you, from the moment you betrayed me, we were over. I turned and went back into the room, forcefully closing the door, shutting out Mark's desperate pleas. Mark pounded on the bedroom door, his voice growing louder and louder, as if he wanted to break it down. Ava, I really know I was wrong. Please give me another chance. I'll definitely make it up to you, please, Ava. Listening to his frantic pleas, there was no wavering in my heart, only endless disgust and nausea. My phone suddenly rang shrilly, cutting through Mark's almost maddening pleas. He impatiently answered the phone, his voice laced with unconcealed irritation. What is it? Mark, think of something quickly. The live stream exploded, and now the internet is full of people cursing me. I can't even show my face. Chloe's tearful voice came from the other end. Now my family must know too. What should I do? What should you do? Mark roared, I can barely save myself right now, and you still have the nerve to ask me what to do? Mark, how can you say that? Chloe's voice was full of grievance and disbelief, but before she could finish, Mark hung up the phone. Mark continued to beg me from inside the room, Ava, see, Chloe is looking for me too. She must realize she was wrong. I'll cut all ties with her right now, okay? Please forgive me, let's start over. Mark began rummaging for something, finally pulling out a delicate wooden box from the depths of a drawer. Ava, do you remember this? We bought it in Key on our first trip together. You said you really liked it back then. I pretended I didn't like such flashy things, but I secretly bought it for you anyway. Inside the box lay a pair of silver bracelets, exquisitely crafted and delicate, with an antique and elegant style that I liked. We were so good back then, starting our business together, enduring hardships together. His voice grew softer, as if he was lost in memories, and perhaps in remorse. I sat on the bay window in the bedroom, watching the endless stream of cars outside, my thoughts drifting back to the past. Mark and I had been together from high school sweethearts to marriage for 10 years. When we first graduated, we had nothing to our names, only a lot of passion and aspirations for the future. Many nights did we cram into a tiny rental apartment, staring at the computer screen, researching store operations, replying to customer messages, working until late at night before daring to close our eyes. In the early days of our startup, funds were tight, and we had to be meticulous, wanting to stretch every penny. I remember once, to save a few dollars on shipping fees, we endured the scorching sun and walked several kilometers to the wholesale market to get goods. We were drenched in sweat, yet we smiled and encouraged each other. Back then, Mark might have been poor, but he was down to earth, hardworking, and incredibly considerate towards me. He always saved the best for me, reluctant to eat or wear anything himself, but entrusting all the money he earned to me. We went through ups and downs together, overcame numerous difficulties, and finally ushered in the spring of our career. However, when we finally lived the life we had dreamed of, we were no longer us. Ava, are you really going to be so heartless? All these years of our relationship, have you forgotten all of it? Mark's voice outside the door was hoarse, his eyes red. I remembered the day he proposed to me, he was just like this. Sweet memories flashed in my mind like a slideshow, and I actually hesitated. I opened the door, turning my face away, not looking at him or responding. Just as I was struggling internally, there was a sudden urgent knock at the door outside, followed by Chloe's voice. Mark, are you home? I have something to tell you. Mark heard Chloe's voice, scrambled up from the floor in a panic, trying to stop her from coming in, but it was too late. Chloe held a piece of paper, which looked like a hospital test report. Seeing, she ran up to him sweetly. Mark, look, I'm pregnant. The baby is yours. I watched this scene unfold in disbelief, as if struck by lightning, completely stunned. Hearing the news, Mark's face turned ashen, and he kept muttering, how could this happen? He seemed to be asking me, and also himself. I coldly looked at the shameless couple before me, no longer feeling any ripple in my heart, only endless nausea. Chloe thought I was scared, so she jutted out her belly and provocatively said, Mrs. Mark, I'm already carrying Mark's child. You should leave soon, don't make it ugly for everyone. Smack. I didn't say anything, just raised my hand and slapped her hard. You hit me? Chloe clutched her swollen cheek, but the next second she received a solid slap from Mark, stumbling and falling to the ground. She looked at Mark in disbelief, tears welling in her eyes. Mark, what are you doing? But had no time to deal with Chloe. He continued to plead with me, his voice choked with sobs. Ava, listen to me explain, I have no real feelings for her at all. She's been pestering me. I'll kick her out right now. I won't have any contact with her anymore. We'll go back to how we were, okay? He tried to take my hand, but I recoiled in disgust. Seeing this, Mark glared fiercely at Chloe and forcibly dragged her away, disregarding her disheveled state. Silence returned to the room. Chloe's words, I'm pregnant, the baby is yours, echoed in my ears, and my heart ached beyond breathing. After a long while, I slowly got up, went to the bathroom, turned on the faucet, and let the cold water wash over my face, trying to clear my head. In the mirror, my face was pale, my eyes red and swollen, my hair disheveled. Where was any trace of my former grace? I gave a self-mocking laugh. So this was the consequence of being betrayed in love, both laughable and pitiful. The next morning, I received a call from the company's HR department, informing me that Chloe had been fired. I simply hummed an acknowledgement and hung up the phone. Is being fired the end of it? Can it be treated as if nothing happened? I sneered inwardly. Mark, you're too naive. Over the next few days, Mark was like a different person. He came home early every day, okayed various dishes for me, showed constant concern, and was extremely gentle and attentive. At night, he would hold me like before, whispering sweet nothings, trying to win my heart back. I remained outwardly calm, secretly contacting a lawyer and beginning to collect evidence of Mark's infidelity. I retrieved the company's surveillance footage from the past 3 months and found multiple instances of Mark and Chloe alone in the office, engaging in intimate behavior. I also hired a hacker to recover deleted WhatsApp chat logs from Mark's phone. The explicit messages and indecent photos made me utterly disgusted. I handed all the evidence to my lawyer and signed the divorce agreement. I wanted Mark to pay for his betrayal, and I wanted him to forfeit all assets. After was fired, she kept harassing Mark, even threatening to go live and accuse him of workplace sexual harassment. One day, Mark frantically arranged to meet Chloe at a secluded cafe. I, meanwhile, had already hidden with my legal team in the private room next door, everything set. Mark, you finally agreed to see me. I thought you were really going to abandon me. The moment Chloe saw Mark, she immediately threw herself into his arms, only to be roughly pushed away by him. Chloe, I'm warning you, we're over. If you know what's good for you, get lost, and stop bothering me. Mark now got a headache just by looking at Chloe. Over? Mark, explain yourself. What do you mean, over? I'm still pregnant with your child. How can you just say it's over? Chloe clutched her stomach, tears streaming down her face. I sacrificed my reputation for you, and this is how you treat me. Child? Who knows whose child that is? I'm sick of you. Here's 100,000, now get rid of it. Mark roared in exasperation. All he wanted at that moment was to get rid of Chloe quickly, so he could go back and beg for my forgiveness. Mark, you bastard. You did it, now face the consequences. What do you take me for, Chloe? Do you think I'm some toy you can summon and dismiss at will? Let me tell you, I'm not someone to be trifled with. If you don't want your reputation ruined, give me 3 million. Otherwise, I'll make sure you and your precious company go down together. Chloe had completely shed her pretense. She glared fiercely at Mark, like an enraged beast. 3 million? Why don't you just rob a bank? Let me tell you, Chloe, don't push your luck. I don't have that kind of money, Mark said, exasperated. No money? Mark, stop pretending. Do you think I don't know the company's financial status? Forget 3 million, you could even come up with 30 million. Chloe sneered. Think carefully, do you want the money, or your reputation and your company? Mark fell silent. He weighed the pros and cons. 3 million was no small sum for him, but if he could resolve the issue with money, saving his company and reputation wouldn't be unacceptable. Hiding in the next private room, I heard their conversation clearly, a cold smirk playing on my lips. All right, I agree. 3 million it is. But you have to promise that once you get the money, you'll completely disappear from my life, and never appear before me or Ava again. Mark gritted his teeth and agreed to Chloe's demand. Deal. A triumphant smile appeared on Chloe's face. Here's the card number. I want to see the money in my account in 3 days. Chloe threw a slip of paper with the bank account number onto the table, then turned and left the cafe. Mark sank into his chair, burying his face in his hands. He realized then that he had single-handedly destroyed his love life and his career. I hired the best legal team and sued Chloe. In court, I played the recording. Chloe's arrogant voice echoed throughout the courtroom, every word a slap to Mark's face. His face was ashen, but he had no words to refute it. Ultimately, Chloe was sentenced to 3 years in prison for blackmail and extortion, and our divorce proceedings also began smoothly. I had already presented evidence of Mark's infidelity and the company's financial records in court. His illicit dealings were exposed one by one. In the end, Mark was ordered to forfeit all assets. Everything we had painstakingly built eventually returned to my hands. The moment I left the courthouse, I felt as if a heavy stone had finally been lifted from my heart. I took a deep breath, looked up at the clear blue sky, and a smile of relief touched my lips. From that day on, I would start a new life, where no one could hurt or deceive me again. I renamed the company and reformulated its development strategy. Under my leadership, the company's performance soared, becoming even more prosperous than before. I poured all my energy into work, constantly improving myself, making myself stronger and more radiant. Mark had completely lost his support system and was deeply in debt. Those who had once flattered him now avoided him like the plague. Like a stray dog, he struggled to survive at the bottom of society once more. Sometimes he would do street vending, sometimes food delivery. He still frequently appeared before me, bringing flowers and gifts, desperately begging for my forgiveness. He told me he had realized his mistakes and was willing to spend the rest of his life making it up to me, only asking for one more chance. I looked at the disgraced man before me, feeling nothing but deep disgust. Mark, let me tell you, you'll never get my forgiveness in this lifetime. With that, I turned and walked away, without another glance. However, Mark didn't give up. Every day he waited downstairs from my building, rain or shine. I ignored him, remaining unmoved no matter how much he pleaded. Until that day, when I was going home from work, I suddenly heard the screech of brakes. The crowd nearby screamed and lay in a pool of blood, dead. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We Lou. K forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.